Hi, I got a tape I want to play. Can't seem to face up to the facts. I'm tense and nervous.
Hey, all you hoppers, it's your favorite podcaster, Dave, coming at you with a brand new episode of Dave's Hoppin' Beats. I hope you're all doing well. Today is a very special day for a couple of reasons. First off, because it's Pi Day. That's right, 3.1415. You gotta love it. Make sure that you and your loved ones all gather around the table and eat some delicious huckleberry pie. It's also special because you lucky folks at home get a brand new episode of Dave's Hoppin' Beats. And no, it's not just your typical run-off-the-mill Dave's Hoppin' Beats episode. Oh no. On today's show, we're going to be looking at the critically acclaimed and universally loved new wave band, Talking Heads. The band burst into the scene in 1977, and the original lineup consisted of David Byrne on vocals and lead guitar, Tina Weymouth on bass, Chris France on drums, and Jerry Harrison on keyboard and rhythm guitar. This band was more than just a new sound. They were the leaders of the next genre of popular music known as new wave. It emerged in the late 70s. Their music combined the grit and humor of post-punk with the African dance style that was emerging in, say, funk music. Talking Heads is easily one of my favorite bands ever. I think some of the art rock groups in that time period sometimes step too far into the pretentious zone. But Talking Head manages to be artsy while also having a whole lot of fun. And that's the best way to describe Talking Heads, if I could, in one word. It's fun. They are just bursting with creativity. They're so much fun. They're so danceable. Everything about it is fantastic. So, to celebrate this one-of-a-kind band, I'm going to be looking at my 20 favorite songs from their near-perfect discography. So, without further ado, let's hop right in. At number 20, we have the song The Good Thing off of the 1978 album More Songs About Buildings and Food, which is just a great album name, by the way. The song features one of Byrne's most memorable guitar licks. The light and bouncy feel to it is contrasted by the chorus, which is rather ominous. It features all the members in the group chanting Byrne's cryptically poetic lines. Any song that has lyrics like, "As the heart finds the good thing, the feeling is multiplied. Add the will to strength and it equals conviction." Overall, it's a wonderful song on a wonderful album. At number 19, we have Pull Up the Roots off of Talking Heads' 1983 masterpiece, Speaking in Tongues. Now, I'm of the personal belief that Speaking of Tongues is sometimes less esteemed compared to other Talking Heads albums, which is very unfortunate because I think it's one of the best 80s dance albums out there. And Pull Up the Roots is a great example of that. The funk that is on display here is next level. I'm talking like out of this world funk. It needs to be said that Tina Weymouth is a fantastic bassist, and her bass playing here is next level stuff. I don't have much to say except it is a banger of a song. Play it if you want to set the dance floor on fire. Man, just listening to it. I've listened to this song hundreds of times, but every time I hear it, it just gets me dancing. I don't know, I love that song. At number 18, I picked And She Was, which is the opening track on 1985's Little Creatures. The song is musically notable for its unusual use of modulation. The overall key of the song is E major. However, the bridge to the chorus is in F major. The second bridge back to the verse is in the key of G major, making for musically unique sound. It also became one of Talking Heads' most successful songs, reaching number 54 on the Billboard Top 100. It has a very iconic and catchy hook, which definitely earns it this spot on the list.
And she was lying in the grass, and she could hear the highway breathing, and she could see a nearby factory. She's making sure she is not dreaming. See the lights of the neighbor's house. Now she's starting to rise. Take a minute to concentrate, and she opens up her eyes. The world was moving, she was right there with it, and she was.
Few bands are as charismatic and exciting live as Talking Heads. In the 17th spot, we have the live recording of Thank You for Sending Me an Angel off the movie concert Stop Making Sense. The original song, which came out in 1978, is great, but the live recording adds a whole new level of energy and passion and excitement to it. The lyrics, in true David Byrne fashion, make absolutely no sense. For example, he immediately contradicts himself in the line, "First I walk in circles around you, but first I walk around the world." Rather than make sense, the lyrics paint a picture using vivid imagery to capture the magic of falling in love. Combine that with an absolute banger of a chorus and a busily aggressive guitar riff, and you have a classic on your hands. Coming in 16th place, we have Heaven off of the 1979 album Fear of Music. If you haven't noticed, most Talking Head songs are incredibly dense and chaotic, kind of the musical equivalent of throwing 50 instruments off of a cliff. So it's always intriguing when Byrne decides to slow things down a little bit and maybe make a ballad of a song. Heaven is a song about a bar where nothing ever happens. It's introspective, passionately sung, and simply put, quite lovely.
Everyone is trying get to the bar. Name of the bar is called Heaven.
At 15, we have Nothing But Flowers. After the album Little Creatures, the band struggled to know which creative avenues they should pursue. They exhausted all of their creative resources in some regards. This led to two albums that are just okay when compared to their previous work. However, the band still struck gold occasionally, and that is the case with this amazing song. It manages to capture the frantic Afro-pop energy that their previous songs captured in a bottle. Fun fact, the song features the Smiths guitarist Johnny Marr. There's a reason why this song is on so many soundtracks. It's a wonderful, fun time. At number 14, we have another song off of the incredible Speaking in Tongues album with Slippery People. David Byrne was obsessed with soul and the funk sound of the late 70s. And you can see this clearly in his music, and especially on this song. The song was so infused with folk and soul and funk that the Staple Singers, some of David Byrne's favorite artists, actually covered the song, which was a huge compliment to his style. The song is catchy as all get at. It features one of my favorite choruses with him going, "I'm walking it up, I'm speaking up." No, that's the wrong song. Anyways, it's a really great song. Definitely check it out. Fantastic song.
On about the time you were rolling over, fall on your face. You must be having fun. Oh, lightly, think of a time. You best believe.
At 13, we have another funk-inspired hit with Take Me to the River. Now, this song was originally done by Al Green in 1978, but their version of the song, Talking Heads' version, reached 26 on the Billboard Top 100. Tina Weymouth says the following about the track. We played it live in studio, and it sounded so great that when we played it back, we decided to put a rule on ourselves. No additional playing except single notes, just one ping or bop or pang. The Talking Heads version endured on many classic radios. Many listeners have no idea that it was actually a cover song. I think the highlight of the song for me, though, is Tina Weymouth's bass playing, the boom, 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 boom. Classic bass line, classic song. Definitely one of Talking Heads' best. Number 12 is Born Under Punches, the opening track to the group's magnum opus, Remain in Light. And I've been wanting to talk about this album for so long, so I'm very excited about it. Following the release of Fear of Music in 1979, Talking Heads and Brian Eno sought to dispel notions of the band as a mere vehicle for frontman and singer-songwriter David Byrne. Drawing influence from Nigerian music, Fela Kuti, the African pop star, they experimented with African polyrhythms, funk, and electronics. When creating the album, legendary producer Brian Eno simply recorded the band jamming out, then looped multiple jam sessions together, creating a futuristic and wholly original sound. This unique sound can best be seen on this track, and it is a great starting point if you are looking to get into the album.
Take a look at these hands. Take a look at these hands.
I love that song. At number 11, we have E Zimbra from 1979. The album this song is on, Fear of Music, discusses in length different phobias that the band members had. Phobias include fear of war, fear of large cities, fear of communication with others, and fear of having life be meaningless. On E Zimbra, the idea was that the narrator of the song was so afraid, so fearful, he couldn't string any proper words together. All the lyrics on this song are complete gibberish. Jerry Harrison, the guitarist and keyboardist of the band, stated that it was his favorite Talking Heads song, saying, "Remain in Light came about because of what we did on this track. We knew that our next album would be a further exploration of what we had begun with E Zimbra." The African style of pop music is a lot of fun here. If you recognize the song, it may be because it was featured on the most recent Spider-Man film. At 10, we're entering the top 10, boys. These are the big boys, the ones that I just love with all my heart. We have What a Day That Was from the live album Stop Making Sense. This concert serves as a comprehensive retrospective of the band's history to that time, and it features many of their most popular songs from their hit single Psycho Killer through to their most recent album. It's considered by many critics to be one of the greatest concert films of all time. Leonard Maltin called it one of the greatest rock movies ever made. Robert, I don't even want to say his last name, called it the finest concert film ever created. And it's hard to disagree. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It is incredible. And definitely listen to the album as well. It's something else. And one of the highlights for me off of the album is What a Day That Was. Now, this song was off of David Bryan's solo effort, and he brought it to Talking Heads for this album. And holy cow, it is incredible. I love the riff. I love the chorus. I love how passionately David Byrne sings it. It is Talking Heads perfection.
Well, I'm dressed up so nice, and I'm doing my best, and I'm starting over. I'm starting over in another place. Let me tell you a story. A big chief with a golden crown. He's got rings on his fingers, and he walks up to the throne. He's making shakes with his hands. And don't you dare sit back. And don't you dare sit down. Don't you dare speak up. About on that first day, we had everything we could stand.
Coming in at number 8, we have the band's most successful song with Burning Down the House. Up to this point in the band's career, the group had received extensive critical praise, but practically no recognition from the average musical listener. Their music was perhaps a bit too abstract, a bit into the avant-garde for the mainstream audience to enjoy. This all changed with the arrival of their 1983 album, Speaking in Tongues, as talked about earlier. The album is an incredible pop record that doesn't lose any of the charm and zaniness that the band offered in previous outings. This accessibility allowed Talking Heads to enter the mainstream. Burning Down the House. Brian's signature nonsensical lyrics combined with Weymouth's incredible bouncing bass, and then all topped off with that funky guitar lick, make for an unforgettable song. It's impossible not to love this track. In seventh place, we have another song from Speaking in Tongues. I'm telling you guys, you gotta listen to this album. It is incredible. And the song is Girlfriend is Better. Byrne was always obsessed with funk. He loved, why can't I think of his name off the top of my head? James Brown. He loved Funkadelic Parliament. He loved all these extremely funky bands. Nowhere is that love of funk more clear than on this song. It might just be the single funkiest track in all of Talking Heads' discography, which is saying a lot. For the magazine Rolling Stone, David Frick described the song as follows. On the surface, Girlfriend is Better is a brassy, straightforward bump number sparked by Byrne's animated bragging. But on further look, it's far more dense than one might suspect. It features the kind of rapid zigzagging synth squeals so common on rap and funk records. The edgy paranoia smoldering underneath is colorfully articulated by guitar and percussion figures that burble along in a fat back echo, sounding like a sync backing up. The track is musically interesting while also just being an absolute blast to listen to, which definitely earns it this spot on the list. At number 7, we have Cross-Eyed and Painless. This song is a perfect example of what makes the album Remain in Light such an otherly world experience. I don't know if that's a word, otherworldly, there we go. The lyrics discuss a paranoid and alienated man who feels he is stressed by his urban surroundings. These lyrics are of common theme for Talking Heads and categorize lead singer David Byrne's writing style. The song uses instruments and techniques such as cowbell loops, congas, bells, staccato guitar rhythms, and electronic blips. The rhythm of the song, as well as the use of the congas, add an African feel to the track. The end result is something shockingly disorienting. It's the feeling of driving 200 miles down a freeway with no way to stop. It's unlike anything you have ever heard, making it one of the strangest songs you will undoubtedly dance to.
Lost my shape, trying to act casual, can't stop. I might end up in the hospital, changing my shape. I feel like an accident. They're back to explain their experience.
The song's such a banger. Holy cow. I love that song. Anyways, speaking of strange songs to dance to, the live version of Life During Wartime will place at number 6. Life During Wartime's lyrics are about a revolutionist who roams from city to city trying to survive the apocalyptic war setting. The song is simultaneously terrifying and hilarious, vividly capturing the terrors of war, while also having some delightfully corny lines such as, I got some groceries, some peanut butter to last a couple of days. Just, this guy's living off of peanut butter and war. It's hilarious. The New Yorker described the song as being an apocalyptic swamp fung transmission in 4/4 time. The original song off of Fear of Music is great, but I definitely prefer the amped up live version in Stop Making Sense. It manages to capture the insanity of war in a groovier, funkier way. At the end of the day, this is literally only a song that Talking Heads could make. It's amazing. Entering the top five, we have a classic rock and roll track with Psycho Killer. Released on their debut 1977 album, it is shocking to realize that this was the first song that David Byrne ever wrote. I mean, come on, that's just not fair. How is that guy just producing straight bangers from the beginning? So the band's signature debut hit features lyrics which seem to represent the thoughts of a serial killer. Originally written and performed as a ballad, Psycho Killer became what AllMusic calls a deceptively funky new wave song, with an insistent rhythm and one of the most memorable driving bass lines in rock and roll history. And yes, Tina Weymouth, right from the beginning, established herself as one of the greatest bassists of all time with the boom, 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 boom. Excellent stuff. Byrne described writing the lyrics as follows: "When I started writing this, I imagined Alice Cooper doing a Randy Newman type ballad. Both the Joker and Hannibal Lecter were much more fascinating than the good guys. Everybody sort of roots for the bad guys in movies. Despite the strange subject matter, the song is probably the best song by Talking Heads to sing at a karaoke. It's just so much fun to sing along to. Psycho Killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Fa 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 better." This track established the band right from the beginning as something special and proved that they had a bright future ahead of them. Banger. Love that song. So good. At number 4, we have a personal favorite of mine with Pulled Up from the album 77. I once showed this song to a good friend of mine who told me that they didn't like David Byrne's vocal performance. So I just want to take a moment to say that my friend is wrong. I love his vocal performance here. Clearly, Byrne isn't the most talented singer in the world, and he knows that. But what he doesn't have in technicality, he more than makes up for in his style, class, and originality. I mean, nobody sings like my boy David Byrne can sing. And Pulled Up is one of the best examples of this. The excitement and passion that he sings the song with is just contagious. The lyrics seem to be about how various individuals helped him out of emotional lows. And man, this song can always get me out of a bad mood. No matter the situation, this song always puts a smile on my face. One of my favorite things to do is sing this song at the top of my lungs in public and see the weird faces that people give me. I don't know what else to say. This song just means a lot to me. I freaking love it. Entering the top 3, we have The Great Curve from Remain in Light. Now, I've mentioned before that Talking Heads is known for being extremely dense and busy, kind of like 10,000 synth lines all falling off a cliff. Well, the densest and busiest song in their catalog, and perhaps in the entire musical history, might have to be The Great Curve. The song is a noisy yet hypnotic piece with an ultra fast driving riff, along with an Afrobeat inspired bongos and harmonizing horns. The chorus has multiple singers creating a complex rhythm. It's disorienting. They go, I don't know any of the lyrics, but it's awesome. The song is probably the most cryptic song in Remain in Light. The lyrics paint a strange, distorted image, and I just can't say how much I love this song. It's hard for me to describe it because it's so otherworldly. It's so different. There's no other song like it. It's amazing. It elevates the album to an even higher level and is pretty much constantly floating around somewhere in my brain. It's just kind of ingrained itself into my musical mentality, my musical psyche. It's fantastic. Definitely check it out. It's amazing.
Sometimes the world has a load of questions. Seems like the world knows nothing at all. The world is near, but it's out of reach. Some people touch it, but they can't hold on. She is moving to describe the world. She has messages for everyone. She.
Now, before I say what my top two picks are, I just have to say that both of these songs mean a lot to me. And they were constantly switching spots as I made this list. I just think that both of these tracks can be placed as some of the most important, exciting, and all around great music that has ever been recorded by any artist in any time of the world. So, at my number 2 spot, I have This Must Be the Place by David Byrne. Obviously, David Byrne is an artistic legend. His lyrics are so strange, ironic, and insincere that it almost paints the man as a fictional cartoon character. What makes This Must Be the Place so unique in Talking Heads' discography is that it is a shockingly sincere and vulnerable look at love. Byrne, on the song, said, "It was made up of almost completely non sequiturs, phrases that may have a strong emotional resonance but don't have any narrative qualities. It's a real honest kind of love song. I don't think I've ever done a real love song before. Mine have always had a sort of reservation or a twist. I tried to write one that wasn't corny, that didn't sound stupid or lame the way many do. I think I succeeded, and I was pretty happy with that. If I could relate the song to any other love song, it would probably be Tiny Dancer by Elton John. Rather than tell a story, it captures phrases that evoke emotions. Lines like, home is where I want to be, pick me up and turn me around. I feel numb, burn with a weak heart, I guess I must be having fun. And, I come home, she lifted up her wings, guess that this must be the place. Lines like that capture the emotions of what it means to be in love. The music is also very different from their other work. In direct contrast to the great song, The Great Curve, the song we just barely heard, it's a very simple song featuring only 2 synths that playfully bounce off of each other. It may just be the greatest love song ever created. And even if it is just for a moment, it gives us a surprisingly intimate look into the soul of a one-of-a-kind artist. This song will be playing at my wedding. right, in the number one spot, the greatest song by one of my favorite bands, Talking Heads. Not only that, but one of the most exciting and unique songs ever recorded is Once in a Lifetime. I will never, ever forget the first time I heard this song. I was listening to a playlist on Spotify of the best 80s songs, and this one popped on. It was unlike anything I had ever heard before, and I didn't really like it at first, but the more I listened to it, the more I sat with it, the more I just fell in love with it. Like other songs on Remain in Light, this track began as a jam session that Brian Eno looped and strung together and gave it a synthy sound. The track was almost abandoned because of how difficult it was to write lyrics that matched up with the off-kilter sound. Having hope for the song, Byrne improvised lines as if he was giving a sermon, with a call and response chorus like a preacher and a congregation. His vocals are half spoken, half sung, with lyrics about living in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife. Guardian writer Jack Malcolm suggested that the song can be read as an art pop rummation on the existential ticking time bomb of unchecked consumerism and advancing age. What immediately drew me into the song, though, was just how funny it was. The extremely odd production choices had me laughing, which I believe is intentional. The music video definitely adds to the zaniness of it, featuring Byrne doing the most hilariously ridiculous dances ever performed. And it's the greatest music video of all time, in case if you were wondering. It is that mix of sincerity and hilarity that makes this song such a brilliant piece of art. And this is what I love about Talking Heads in general. They're so strange, crazy, and fun, but they manage to capture the human experience better than just about anyone. David Byrne, Tina Weymouth, Chris France, and Jerry Harrison, all I can say is thank you. Thank you for making such wonderful music that I have been able to fall in love with. Well, that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I hope that maybe you have gained a deeper appreciation for the wonderful band that is the Talking Heads. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time on Dave's Hoppin' Beats. And remember, there is, in fact, water on the bottom of the ocean. Have a good one.
You may find yourself living in a shotgun shack, and you may find yourself in another part of the world, and you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile, and you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife, and you may ask yourself,